I remember we had a Grandparents' Day show. And so my grandma showed up to it. It was at my elementary school. And I performed an Phantom of the Opera. And it was just like an impromptu dance to Phantom of the Opera. And my godfather had a phantom mask, and so he gave it to me, but I put it on the wrong side of my face. And so I was just like blind out of one side, just like this 7-year-old kid just flailing this like black cape about.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, so gay, so gay. And just putting on shows and figure skating.
Right, when did figure skating come into the mix?
I started skating when I was 9 years old, just because we were going to family skates, and I just really like got into it. It was really fun. It felt so freeing to be able to like whiz around the ice. And I think I had seen Fantasia recently. And the whole scene in Fantasia during the Nutcracker scene where they're like skating around and freezing everything, I think really like struck a note. And yeah, I mean, I still skate. That's crazy.
You sure do.
It's really fun though. It's really fun to reconnect with it in a way.
You said that you've been giving people up close skating with milk lessons, right?
So I started this thing where I put out into the universe that I would love to give skating lessons to people. And so I had people reach out and given skating lessons to friends and fans and all of that, and just like creating a unique meet and greet opportunity while like, you know, having fun and whizzing around.
Whizzing around with milk.
Yeah, why not?
You can both get your Phantom of the Opera capes and go around.
Lady Red, have you been skating before?
Yes.
Yeah,
I love
honey.
to skate, honey.
Do
and
you?
Ski. Yes, girl. I come from Utah. What you mean?
Yes, hun.
Yes, girl. I'm a snow bunny when I want to be.
Now, Milk, when did you, you know, we can imagine there might have been clues of your homosexuality with your Phantom of the Opera cape flinging, your Fantasia ice fantasies. But when did you come out to yourself, and then when did you come out to others?
I came out to myself when I was 19 years old, which is, I think, pretty late, but not like super late. No. Never putting a time limit on when somebody feels that they can come out.
Isn't it true that you had to come out to your mom because of an iPhone?
Yeah, and so my boyfriend, James, who I started dating all the way back in 2008, and we're still together.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we just celebrated 11 years.
I mean, that deserves applause, everybody.
Yeah. He's still the love of my life. He is the one I always want to talk to. He's the funniest person in the world. So clever, so creative. Honestly, he's just the best person. So he wanted, in 2008, that's when the first iPhone came out. And so he wanted to get me an iPhone for my birthday. And so he was like, call your parents, make sure you can stay on the family plan. So I call my mom, and I'm just like, oh, a friend of mine wasn't out, yeah. A friend of mine wants to get me an iPhone for my birthday. She's like, ooh, wow, what sort of friend is this? That's an expensive gift. And I was like, oh, my friend James. And she was like, ooh, Jane, I've never heard you talk about a Jane before. And I'm just like, no, James. Like, I have a brother named James as well. And she sort of like got flustered, and she was like, oh, well, I guess we'll figure it out soon. I'll call you back later, blah, blah, blah. And hung up. And then like 2 minutes later, she called back, and I was like, this is the phone call. And it was. She asked me if this James was an important person in my life, and I said, of course. And she was like, well, let's not tell your dad yet. I don't know why.
Huh.
Yeah. But then when I did tell my father, oh my God.
How much longer was that?
I told him maybe a year or two, no, a year later.
Okay, give your mom a good year
to
really get in and
exactly.
be ready to be in a united front with you.
Realize that she didn't do this to me.
Right, no guilt, it's nature, there it is.
Exactly. And I came out to him in an email, because we never had a very close relationship as far as communication.
Coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Subject. But I like just left it all out in that email. And then he sent back the most beautiful, I keep hitting this, I'm sorry, but he sent back the most beautiful response like a little gay boy can ask for from a father figure when coming out. It was just so heartfelt and so compassionate and so sympathetic. And so I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky to have the family that I have, for sure.
You got a boyfriend, dad, mom, all going. That's great.
Yeah, I know. I'm very, very lucky. My cat doesn't like what I do, though.
No.
So, but she has to live with me.
You got your whole family, your boyfriend, your cat, and the Dairy Queens.
And the Dairy Queens.
Tell me about when you guys first started doing drag and how that all came about.
Yeah, so we started doing drag in Boston. We all lived in Boston at one point. And it wasn't a consistent thing in Boston. Boston had a nightlife scene, but it's not, you know, very deep.
I went to college there.
Oh, yeah.
It's not very deep,
Yeah, a club cafe moment, if you will.
Yeah.
And so we would just do it every now and again, and we would go out to sort of disrupt like what was going on, and just have fun and be like young 20-year-old like inappropriate freaks, you know? Yeah, exactly.
Like your Milk It video.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, that was really what it was, and then once we moved to New York in 2012.
And you all moved together?
Yeah, we all moved pretty much around the same time.
The best way to move to New York.
The summer of 2012. And we just started going to Suzanne Barsh's party on top, and just the magic of being in New York City, like atop this huge building, just like being your true queer self and living your fucking fantasy. And all with Suzanne Barsh there, like
yeah. So
legend,
you're doing it in the
icon.
most stylish way.
Yeah.
I'm sure she took a look at y'all beautiful, tall, cheekboned.
I mean, we were beautiful at that time.
I'm
it
pretty
wasn't
sure.
this. No. It was still pretty busted. But I think I think that's sort of what she latched onto.
Yeah.
She was like, I see this group of people that are really loving what they're doing and just being free with it. And so let's like get to know them and see like what can be created.
You
and
and
I
the
still work
girls
with
come
her.
over, please.
Yeah.
Get busy over there.
Let's talk about the coin.
I love her.
She's really so amazing.
She gave you that start, that confidence
did. She sure did.
to get that spotlight on you.
Yeah.
And then when did you really dive in?
Well, I really dove in, I guess, in the idea that I want to be on Drag Race. It was that summer that in New York City, as opposed to Boston, there's so many parties during the week. Well, at least there used to be. Right now, it's a little like.
But 2012, every night of the week, many parties a night.
Every night of the week. So there was a lot of consistency with doing drag, and being able to experiment with all of these different ideas and concepts that I had. Yeah, I think it was 2012, and then I auditioned in 2013. Got the call that I was going to be on. Just like, I got the call when I was on I worked at Marc Jacobs at the time as a manager, and I got the call, and I saw it, and I immediately ran to the bathroom, and I was just like, sitting on the bathroom, and like I'm sitting down, like I pull my pants down to like, for some reason, actually use the bathroom while I'm on this call.
Not at Marc Jacobs, please.
And so like I'm actually letting like stuff out of me when they're like, oh, you're on the show, congratulations, how do you feel? And I'm just like, I'm shitting myself. But actually, and then began like,
All of it.
Oh
my God.
Oh my God. Wow, look at that sweaty pit.
Yeah, we just paid the bills with that shot right there. Keep it up. All right, Milk, honey, it's time to start your engines because we're going to talk about Drag Race.
Yay!
Yeah!
Drag Race!
So, you know what was so funny is that I went back to look at your season and get back into the thing, because, you know, there's so many seasons now. I did not even realize you came in 9th.
Yeah.
Which is incredible because your presence and who you've become would say you came in much further.
Yeah, I definitely don't have a good track record on Drag Race. But yeah, I came in 9th, and that first time going on Drag Race, I did not know what to expect. I was going in blind. At that point in time, I mean, there were a lot of queens that had been on the show, but I didn't know them. They weren't as sort of on the same level as everybody else, and like
it wasn't so present, like here's what you do,
right.
And you the reason why I say it's amazing that you came in 9th is because literally every runway look that you did has lasted. The images are out there, they influenced the show. You made a really big mark in a pretty short period of time.
Yeah, and like I said, I didn't go in with expectations, so I really went on there just doing whatever the hell I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And just and doing exactly what I had been doing in New York for that summer of 2012, going to Suzanne's parties. Like, if there was a theme to a look, baby, best believe I would pull out the concept. And then getting to do that on national television, along with so many amazing queens. I mean, every single queen on that season.
The queens, I mean, just the list of them. Lady Red, that was an incredible big season of personalities, right?
Baby, I can't forget it.
I mean, just to name a few. She always gets to know Lady Red's having a snack in the background. Now, on that season, you really pushed the envelope in a way that Drag Race hadn't seen the envelope pushed. You did the first beard, and you also appeared in boy drag. And girl, they were coming for you.
Yeah. Times I was not the first to invent bearded drag. Talking about the Coquettes. San Francisco, that bearded glitter and jewels and just so amazing.
It's part of our culture. It's been happening.
It's part of the queer culture, and so. It being season 6 and knowing it was going to continue, I was like, it's about time that this happens, you know, on the show. And so I was very happy to be able to sort of be a spark in, say, a bearded queen who's watching the show. Like, they could perhaps fall in love with it just a little bit more.
As you were embarking on the new career, did you have to get called into Mr. Marc Jacobs' office to officially resign? Or was he more like, girl, meet me at my place, we're gonna gossip, and then I'll give you let it go?
There's me and my boyfriend making out.
Oh, yeah.
And Bella Hadid.
Right, look at that. That was from that campaign you did for Marc Jacobs.
The Spring 16 campaign,
wow.
Which was, oh my God. And so I worked for Marc Jacobs ever before knowing him. Like, he was the Marc Jacobs, and I was just some like seasonal employee at the stores back in 2009. And so then to get recognized by him after being on Drag Race I like freaked the fuck out. I saw that he liked something on my Instagram, and I think at the time I was in Croatia for like a MAC Cosmetics gig, random MAC Cosmetics. Like, who goes to Croatia for drag? But I mean, a lot of people go to Croatia for drag. I'm sure there's an amazing scene there. I don't want to get red for that.
Right. Did you hear how Milk talked about Croatia?
Exactly. No, queens. She is that delusional
Croatia
bitch.
drag.
Yes. But I saw that he liked some of my stuff on Instagram, and I was up late after the gig, and so I wrote, that's when DMs were happening, and so I wrote this like super nerdy, like, I am such a fangirl of you, and for you to be recognizing what I do, and you know, promoting it, like, what a moment. And so then that's when we sort of developed our friendship, and then to be in his campaign, and then
you got to bring your boyfriend along too for it.
I know, nuts. This stuff, you know, life is fucking crazy, and if you stick around for it and you like put in the work and put in like the mindfulness as well, like to your own self, I think that magical things can happen.
Hello, children. To see part 3 of this interview, click here. To see more Hey Qween fabulousness, click here. And don't forget to subscribe! right, bitch. Hey, hey, hey.